Hey guys, welcome to Feeling Twisty. Sitting here at car pickup, waiting on my daughter, and I was thinking about how often I find myself looking up YouTube videos. There are a lot of Neville Goddard experts and manifesting experts out there. And Neville Goddard certainly is not the only one that knew what he was talking about. He's my personal favorite, and I learned more from studying his teachings, his lectures, than I had from anybody else. It certainly doesn't mean that everyone else is wrong. But I have noticed a lot of folks' YouTube channels that, not a lot, some that I've come across. There are a lot out there, but specifically a smaller group of those who really imply and then come right out and say how their way is the way, and to do it that way. And that's the way to do it. And it's so easy, because I know it's easy because I've done this. It's easy to get caught up in their way and then worrying about making sure I do their techniques the right way, good enough. And I've talked about this before, about how I would think of my imagination and then the techniques that Neville taught and others taught, the techniques as something separate from me. It's a separate thing, like a tool in my hand, an imaginal screwdriver. But I've noticed over, I'm not sure when it began to change, but I notice now that I don't think of these things, the techniques, imaginal scenes, assuming it's done, going to sleep in the feeling of, isn't it wonderful? All these techniques that Neville taught and then others taught as well. It just become a part of me. I notice I'm doing it throughout the day. If there's something I want to change, I revise it right then. And I don't really think of it as revision, like I am revising now. Let me pull out my revision tool and revise. Or it's a healing, so I need to get my imaginal healing welding tool out. I'm kind of going too far with the tool thing, but I used to be very conscious of the fact that I would, like, okay, now it's revision. Okay, now I'm imagining for healing. And for me, it was like some separate little things in my hands, these little tools. But now I notice it's me. It's how I live. I do. Now, I'm not saying I don't go off on tangents and rabbit holes of, I'll have a stray thought of, like, why is this hurting? Oh, it's probably hurting because of this. And I'll fall into that trap where I'm starting to look at outside reasons. Well, it's not this, so maybe it's that. And then I'll catch myself like, oh, dude, it's not that or this. You know what the cause is. Then I'll bring it back in. But what I'm saying is that the power, they aren't separate tools or separate, I'm encouraging you to stop thinking of the techniques as something separate from you, that you have to do certain things to get it right. Because when it comes down to it, it's just what you believe, what you know to be true. Whatever it is, money, health, happiness, for yourself, for anyone else, no matter how crazy conventional wisdom says it is, it doesn't matter. It's if you truly believe that it's done, that you have what you want, that you are what you want. You have it. You do. And so, getting back to my original point, looking for all these experts, there are experts everywhere. And I've learned a lot from some. And there are others out there that just talk about their experiences and they teach, and it's really great but I don't hear them saying that this way is the only way. My techniques are the only way that works. Because any technique will work if you believe. It all comes down to what do you believe. And so really, you don't need to find experts or to continue searching for experts. And don't do what I used to do and just spend hours and hours looking up YouTube videos and trying on, oh, this guy, I liked him. And then switch to somebody else. Because the power is within you. The power is you. You are the power. What you're experiencing is just the result of what you're conscious of being. And I'm going to read a little bit of the Bible. I know I got a comment from somebody one day kind of poking fun at me for bringing up the Bible so much. It's what I grew up with. And so I like how the Bible explains a lot of this. I grew up with it. You certainly don't need to ever read the Bible to get this. I just enjoy it. It gives me another resource. I like reading it and finding, looking at what I think the truth of the scripture is, or what they're saying. And I like those moments where it's like, oh, that's what that meant. So anyway, commune with your own heart upon your bed. Be still. So whenever you hear anything from me, anything from another teacher, a YouTube channel, a church, wherever, your boss, whatever you want to know or experience, you do that. What Psalm 4:4 said, be still, commune with your own heart. And the heart means your mind and your thoughts. Commune within yourself. It's all up to you. The I am, the self-existent one, the one in the Old Testament that says, I exist, that we call God, is you. That awareness is you, in you, is you. And you listening to this, or that is that I amness, that I am, that awareness, being aware of being you. And the same for me. So we all have that creative power, that I am within us. And we can choose what to be. We can change what we perceive as reality, this physical world, by changing what we choose to be conscious of being. Not thinking of things we'd like to have one day or be one day, but actually inhabiting that feeling, but letting that feeling become a part of us. In John chapter 1, verse 3, it says, all things came into being through him, and apart from him, not even one thing came into being which has come into being. So not even one thing. That means the things that we see as bad, good, whatever, the good and the bad. And remember in the Old Testament it says, I, the Lord, am one. I kill and I make alive. I heal and I wound. Because that awareness is each one of us. You are conscious of being you, and me. And it's up to us to decide what to experience. Good, bad, or indifferent, like Neville says. So there's no reason to blame or feel guilty or look for outside causes, because that I am within you is the cause of what you're experiencing. I've said it before how when I realized that, it was both profoundly disturbing and wonderfully liberating to know that it really is all up to me. Nothing has come into being apart from God, from I am. All right, so you don't need an expert. You don't need to continue searching and searching and searching for the answer. If you get that you are the operant power, it's all up to you. What you experience is telling you what you're conscious of being. So, be your own expert. You got this. I love you guys. This is Feeling Twisty.